Get it. Get it. Yeah.
All right, so for the gnome today, it's going to be really easy. No eyes, no mouth, just the gnome, and all you're going to see is a hat, his body, and his nose. Okay, so I'll draw my line here for the top. I don't want to go over the page, and at the bottom, I want him to end here. I'll always draw my line down because that's where I want him to be, the center of him. And so for the gnome, I want to have a hat, so I'm going to make a point, like a triangle if you want. There we go, a triangle. Whoop, there we are. By the way, for those of you who want to know, this is just a HB pencil, ordinary pencil, and I always have an eraser with me. All right, and now I want to have his body, so I'm going to draw a circle for his body. So I have a really like a long triangle and a circle for his body. Okay, so I'm just going to bring down my lines like so. And this is, and then I'm going to draw his nose. This will be his nose. And for his hat, I don't want it to be straight like that. That was just my position. I want it to be a little bit of a curve here like this. Okay, just as if you're drawing a circle, see, like that. All right. And I want him to have a beard. So I want his beard to end here. So I'm going to make like another V here upside down. Okay. And I'm going to make his mustache here. So it's going to be like another circle here. So another circle like this. That's going to create his mustache. And this is going to be his beard. Okay. So this is like my skeleton, if you wish, for my gnome. All right. So I'm just going to go just a little bit darker. Never very, don't press too hard. Okay. Just, I go over it, and never with one line. I'll never do one line. It's always going to be little lines. Okay. There we go. So I'm drawing his hat. And I'm going to curve it down here. His nose, I'm going to draw his nose before I draw the rim of his hat, because his hat's going to go just underneath his nose. So there's his nose. There we go. And the hat will just go there. Now for his mustache, remember I did the circle? So I'm going to do his mustache like this. Just as if, so I'm ignoring this part of the circle. I'm going to go down towards the bottom of the point. And here you could really take advantage of making little lines, because this is beard, this is hair, right? So it doesn't really matter. It even makes it look more real. There we go. And for his beard here, I'm going to separate his nose in two, not his beard, I'm sorry, his mustache. I'm going to separate his nose in two very lightly so that I can go underneath and then just continue his beard that way. Oh my gosh, I'm always saying his beard, his mustache. There we go. There's his mustache. Now, for his body, for the first one, we're going to do a gnome without arms. So we're just going to bring him down a little bit like this, just as if the triangle comes down like this, right? But I don't want it to end like a triangle. I'm going to just make it end like a little bit more of a circular bottom, like so. There we go. If I wanted to, I could extend his hat just like this, just to make it go a little bit down like here, like so. Now, if you wanted to, we could have lifted. Okay, this is just one way of doing it. Okay. So, do we want a little eye here? We could. And another little eye here. Yeah, we could. Because his nose, if I would have wanted to have no eyes, I would have put his nose higher up. But that's another, and I'll show you after. All right, so I'll erase his nose, and I'm going to erase my structures that I've made, the skeleton, like so. Okay. The skeleton here. Okay, so far I like what I have. All right, so that was fairly easy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go a little bit harder on my lines. So I'm going to go like this. There we go. And then I'm going to put my nose. And for this gnome, it's just going to be a simple circle for his nose. His mustache now, as you can see, I'm going really, my lines, I'm making them really to look like hair. So I'm just pulling it towards me. Okay, there we go. His mustache, I got it right this time. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm just going like this. I'm pulling my lines towards me to do it, okay? And for his body, I'm just going to go, I'm going to taper this in a little bit. And there we go. If you wanted to shade it, now the second step to this is shading him. All right, so to shade him, I'm going to make my sun. So my sun is projecting on my gnome, which means the shadow, this will be the shade. So this will be my shadow. So everything on this side, and as you can see, I'm just drawing lines like this and around lines like this. And I don't have a smudger. I'm going to use my finger. So I'm just going to smudge it like so. There we go. Underneath his nose, I'm just going to put a bit of shade like this. And the sun is still here, so it's still going to shine brightly here. But there's always going to be more shade on this side. Underneath his nose, there's going to be shade. And underneath his mustache, and even if it's this side, his mustache is going to be, has volume to it. So I'm just going to put a bit more shading here. There you go. And of course, this is over the mustache. The mustache is over the beard. So under the mustache, it's going to be even darker. Go. And this side. And of course, the beard is over his body. So I'm going to shade this even more. Okay. And here, this is going to be a really dark area. And so will this. And since you feel that little round circle, it's almost like as if he has a brim to his hat. So underneath this will be darker, like so. And then this side, it's not going to really be half-half. I mean, not half-half, because see, if you have your body here and the sun is here, or towards the back, or towards the front, it'll affect the shading of the gnome. right? So now we're a little bit like, we're around here. Or no, and we're more around like here. What shading does also is it creates dimension, but it makes it look so much more real. Just put a little bag underneath his eye. And to make his mustache, just pull a little bit of lines. Makes it look even more real. And the rim, you could put a little rim like that. That's kind of cool. Don't be afraid to move your paper because there's a natural way for you to draw that does your hand. There we go. All right, so let me just erase this because a lot of people like clean drawings. Another way of making sure that your drawing is clean, because your hand does get dirty, is to always put, especially when you're shading, is to put a piece of paper over it, and over your drawing as you're drawing, just to protect, because you'll know this will rub against your drawing, especially if I'm going up here, the bottom of my, or the edge of my hand will get full of graphite from the pencil. All right, so now I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. There we go. And I could follow this and make him a striped hat if I wanted to. But as you see, I'm not doing it straight. This would not look real. You have to follow the curve. There we go. That's our level 1 gnome. I know you could do it. Show me what you do.
Get it.